They said great, paved the way, changed the rate, release the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper raps, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, dirty Kane.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? We are finally back to talk some MLW. I'm super excited. We just watched it on ProWrestling TV. I mean, obviously, it's great quality. I've seen it. Volume sounded good.
Oh, yeah.
The camera looks real crisp and clear. Battle Riot 4. I'm sitting here trying to find the entire roster so I can go through it because, all right, I think I got it. So you have Lince Dorado. No, that's old. I don't care. I'm not going to go through the whole list. But I will say this. This was super entertaining. Now, I want to start critical. I don't want to go with the let's be all nice and let's be all this and I got to be really critical about this because I want to start off with the last entry, which we knew was Parker Bordeaux, right? So, or Brodge.
Well, hold on. You hold on. You just jumped ahead of everything, brother.
I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about Battle Riot. I want to talk about certain guys that are in this that are no longer.
You haven't even introduced us. You haven't told the crowd where you've been for a whole week, while you were hiding under the subways, drinking like a wino for a week.
You know what? I'm just ready to go into it. All right. So listen, Muffins Martinez wants me to say it's the OG Boricua Don Dada, a.k.a. Chef, a.k.a. the Talk of New York, Mr. Muffins Martinez, Houston Astros, who just threw a no-hitter. That's what he wanted me to tell you. He didn't care about, the New York Yankees losing 50 weeks ago to the Astros. He wants me to talk about the no-hitter by, I think, 3 different members of the Houston Astros. One of the coolest things that I've ever seen and we're a wrestling podcast, but you know what? Let's just throw it out there real quick. Anytime something like this happens, it's history. And if you can't appreciate history, then I don't know, what you care. Because I'm not a National fan, but I appreciate greatness. That was greatness. You'll never see nothing like that again, probably in my lifetime. And right now, I think you said they're up 2-1.
Yeah, the funny thing was there's been 108 World Series, which is 108 years, and it has only been done twice in the World Series where a no-hitter. The first was 1958, Dan Larser, where he threw a complete perfect game, and then last night with the 4 guys. So you are right. We will never see this again in our lifetime.
No, and it's super awesome. Obviously, listen, I want my Yankees to win. If they don't win, obviously I'll go with the Astros because of Muffins Martinez. So when they win, I still celebrate it because this is the big bro right here. And I don't care how he wants to talk about it. I'm going to start with my why I'm a little upset with this because in June, Battle Riot had happened, right? We knew this in June.
Yes.
Now, we don't do spoilers. We knew what was up. Parker has his MLW. Way before, obviously, he was in AEW. He did this, came out 30th man, winds up signing with AEW. But he's been in AEW for a few months, so it kind of takes away from it. You're like, okay, cool.
And the thing is, it wasn't just him. Yeah, Killer Kross too.
Killer Kross. We know Killer Kross comes out. Now he's been back with WWE. So you're like, wow, 2 of the big wow factors are in other companies signed months ago. Sami Callihan. Now, there's no rip to this. Am I a Sami Callihan fan? No. But I like how we seen Sami Callihan come over and they said former Impact Wrestling heavyweight champion. We seen him on MLW. They showed Impact a lot of love. And Sami Callihan had a long stretch. They did Impact very well to say, you will treat your guys good if you bring them over. You treated our guys good. I like how, respect was respect.
And he was there for a long ass time, Callihan.
Yeah. Sammy was there.
I was surprised too.
I texted you. I was like, wow, Sammy's been here for a stretch right now. Like,
minutes, yes.
The only thing I'm going to say is I didn't know how bad, and I don't know why this struck out to me. His receding hairline is so crazy. Like he's got the horseshoe joint going, and I would just bald it off. But it's Sammy. I like it. He did what he did. He came in, looked good. One of the funniest parts about Sammy's run was how he sold the Juicy when Juicy went off the top and he threw himself into the turnbuckle. I was like, all right, good shit. You sold the shit out of it. But now I can start talking some Battle Riot because I wanted to get the things that kind of, I was like,
yes. What stood out the most?
Yeah. Starting off with EJ, we were like, I was like, whoa, this is the guy who dominated last year, and he's number one. You got him going against Tankman, and that's a little odd. You're like, okay, cool, you do what you do. I did think he got eliminated way too fast. EJ, I thought he'd last longer.
Unless they're trying to save him for the next feud, so maybe that's why they say, we're going to get you out of here early, because last year you totally dominated this last year. You dominated the end of the year in December when they had the big cage thing, and you single-handedly eliminated almost everybody there. So, I mean, we already did your job of becoming a monster. We've done that. So, I think now we can get you in early, get you out, and then, get you out to the next whatever feud is going to be, which we already know what feud is, but, whatever feud is next, which is, to me, still surprising about it. But, yeah, he got out there early, man. I was expecting him to come in midway like he did last year and take some people out, get him back strong again like they did last year. But hey.
So now hear me out. Now, we have been very critical of Microman, right? Like we have been extremely critical. Hold on. You gotta admit, when Microman jumped on what's his name again? The guy who comes out, he came out. What's his name? He has like the mask.
Saint Laurent?
No.
Dr. Drax?
Not Dr. Drax. The guy that they all jumped. He was in last Battle Riot too. He always comes out with a monster or whatever. He's a goofy character. So that guy comes out. I forgot his name, and they all jump him. Like real ones involved. Everyone's jumping this poor guy, and you see. Microman grabbed the stick from his hand, start bashing the guy in the hand while the other 5 wrestlers are jumping him. Then he grabs his mask and he's like jabbing him in the face. And the guy winds up tapping out because they're all jumping him. I thought that was super cool how they did Microman. But I also I think was it Mini Abito Negro that he was holding on to that they kept swinging out? And he was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the part where
Negro, yes.
That's the part where Microman will succeed. Is that funny element that happens in wrestling. Like the little things that you're like, okay, the only problem is you have this little guy just standing in the ring and you got guys that can literally pick this little guy up and throw him 40 rows into the back. You know what I mean? Like I liked it all.
That's why I always say he has to be a novelty for the beginning. He has to be the first match. Play for the crowd, play for the kids, do something fun and get them out of there. You got your money, put them out there in the back, have them, two for 30, get a picture with him and a t-shirt or a mug, make that money out there. That's what I always say. He's a novelty act. Let him be that novelty.
Oh, for sure. Now I gotta ask you because I'm pro Enzo. I like Enzo a lot. I like his work. Him sticking around and hiding outside the ring the whole time, coming in, throwing guys out, coming in. I was like, I gotta hear Jorge's take because either this was gonna burn you or you're gonna be like, all right, this is all right.
Well, no, it played to his character, which is he's a total asshole.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He does these stupid shit. He hits and run. He's a coward. He's always doing stuff behind the back. Always backstabbing people to get the wins. So this was perfect for him because he was always in and out of the ring. In, hit, boom, run, pick it the pin. Go hide. He got a bunch of pins doing that. And then
you got a
and
bunch of
then when
eliminations
it came
too.
down, and then when it was like down to 4 people, you kind of started seeing, oh, okay, now we see where this is going between him and Jacob Fatu as being the last two, because
Yeah.
the two that were there are no longer there anyway. So you kind of go like, okay, this might kind of make sense. Keeps building on the feud they had the month before with Enzo hitting Fatu with a bottle over his face on top of the head, always coming from the back, hitting and then running. So it made
Now,
perfect sense. The best part
I'm,
was when Tyler got knocked out by Parker Boudreaux and got clothesline out of the ring. That was the best part of the night for me.
I was surprised
Get her out of here.
when she came out and she went right at Sami Callihan. I was like, okay, I get it,
Yeah.
because we know their work from Lucha Underground. So I'm like, okay.
Yes.
She had a
Yes.
quick little thing with,
and they went together and they went together at Impact too. So
yeah, and then she had a quick little thing with Killer Cross, once again, Lucha Underground. So they cross paths.
Yep.
When she hit that turnbuckle and Parker Boudreaux came out, and he I don't even know the last thing I could, like, that body splash running way he crushed her and then lifted her up. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna annihilate Taya.
I was cheering for Parker, kill her, get her out of there, clothesline her out. I don't care, just get her out of there. And my wish came true. I wish it would have been a clothesline from hell and made her spin around or something, go flip down the first row, but didn't happen that way. But at least she was out of it.
Now, she's also the first woman ever to be in a Battle Riot. So, I mean, listen,
I was surprised.
We're already over the Taya featherweight run. We're already kind of over that. And the only problem is she does seem aligned more with Azteca Underground. So, she's going to have a long stretch because of it. But, like I said, there was a lot of things that I took that I really enjoyed. I was surprised David Richards eliminated pretty much all of Bomaye Fight Club. But then you see...
Yeah, and then he got his ass kicked on stage for that. I was like, they're kicking his ass for everything that he did.
And the commentators, they're sitting there complaining like, oh, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? Like, what do you think was going to happen?
It's funny because you got the match in the ring, and then you see up there, and they're like, Thomas comes out, Kane comes out first, then then Thomas comes out. So you see two different fights at the same time. I said, damn, how am I supposed to focus on the ring when the dude's getting beat his ass up back there in the back?
I didn't even watch the match. Cool, I was just watching the left side screen of Bomaye Fight Club thugging him.
Yeah.
But like I said, I felt this was done well. There was a few guys that I was like, all right, once again, we have a war horse spot where he's punching his head against the turnbuckle thing. Yeah, cool, we've seen it. The big what's his name? Ricky Shane something, the big guy with the tattoo on his chest.
With a tattoo on the chest, yeah.
Yeah, he did all right. Like, he brought his own weapons down. He did okay. There was a few of the Azteca Underground guys who did absolutely nothing but just
too many.
Yeah.
There were too many. How many were like 4 or 5?
There was a lot of them.
See, and that right there got me upset. But see, that got me upset because this is where the Puerto Rican wrestlers were getting mad about, Danny Limelight and I forgot our homie now.
Slice Boogie.
Good Lord. They were not used. You're in New York and you're not using some of those guys that should be there being used, and you replace them with Azteca guys.
And
that's
let me be clear.
That gets me upset.
Let me be clear with this before anyone says, well, they didn't use Slice Boogie because he was hurt. No, he was not hurt at that time. This was shot in June, and he was not hurt until like August or whatever.
And I was there when he got hurt.
Yeah. So you have these guys. The thing that I don't get, and we love SST. We interviewed
of course,
Joel Maximo. Was it Joel or
Joel.
Jose?
Boy, I don't know. They all start with a J, so we go with Jose.
But we support
it
them.
was the oldest one, the oldest
Yeah.
one. So
And he, I know they got him from Queens. I thought he was from Queens because they said it, but he's from Brooklyn, like we found out. So you got your neighborhood guys, right? You got him there.
Yep.
But how do you have Slice Boogie from Queens? Like not there in Queens, like SAT salute. You label them that they're from Queens, even though they're from Brooklyn.
Yep.
In Brooklyn, Queens, it's whatever. But you literally have Slice Boogie from Woodside Projects who could walk to the event from where he's from. You know how many people he knows, and you don't use them. Yeah. This was a fall. You had Kenny Broadway, which we like Ken Broadway.
Yep.
He's from Harlem.
Kenny Broadway, yes.
You know what I mean? You had a lot of guys that came out, but to not have 5150 when that's what they claim. They claim that New York shit. Like that shit made no sense to me. That was
but you fly Savio Vega from Puerto Rico for 5 minutes to be in the match for 5 minutes, but you can have two of your guys who were tag team champions at one time be there. Okay, if this is going to be your last hurrah, then go out there, have some fun and eliminate some people, and then get out. If that's what's going to happen.
You got to use your local guys, like and especially guys that are from. It's not like other shows, like I don't want to name drop anybody, but when another show goes into a certain town, they don't have that that urban feel like MLW does. MLW, if you listen to their intro, it's hip hop music. Like they play into that urban culture, and you got these guys sitting in your back pocket. Like, I mean, when we interviewed Dr. Julius Smokes, homie was wilding. Like he embodies that real wild shit. You should have had him. You should have had Rivera. You should have had Slice Boogie. I mean, there's a list of guys
Conan,
that
making up. Yeah. Give Conan, let be up there for a second or something,
Yeah, I mean,
but the good thing about the whole thing is at least we know MLW is back. They have this brand new website thing here in ProWrestling TV. And like you said earlier, the shit is magnificent. There was no hiccups whatsoever with that stream. That was perfect HD, 2160, everything. Perfect clarity on that. The only thing that I'm upset about, and I will tell about the same thing, is how long it took for them to come back.
Yeah, it's a long stretch. I know the last ones we got until what? The next show is in January, right?
Yeah, and then now they also came out with a February show also. So now, both are going to be right from Philly, right from the
ECW Arena. So it's what you said though a while ago when we were talking that these will probably lead up to the new year, and then we'll get back onto a normal schedule going forward. And a lot of this I know had to play in with the streaming
because
service.
I see Thanksgiving having a show, before they will do some bullshit show, and then the last 2 weeks of Christmas before New Year's is usually the best of something. But I know now they'll have shows going into December, so into January you have shows, and then you have the shows that they just taped last week will be in January, and then they'll start shooting some new shows in January for February for March. So then at least they'll be on some type of something. So if somebody leaves, we'll see them before they leave, or
Yeah, and it won't be this 5 months kind of. I mean, not 5. Yeah. Well, it was almost 5 months. Like it was a long stretch. So
August, September, November.
And then, but what I will say is, I do like how a lot of guys played out. Like Juicy and Lance. If you looked at, and I can't remember who they threw up in the air, that was intense. Like. Lance looks strong. He looks fast. I've been a big fan of Lance for a while. I see a lot of promise in Lance. Juicy is a monster. But
Juicy is again one big boy, bro.
And that's your guy. That's Juicy your guy.
He's one big tonga right there, boy.
But I mean, you see a lot of strengths from multiple people. That's why I kind of like MLW, because it wasn't just like a battle riot where one guy looks like how they kind of used to do with Kane, eliminating everybody, and he just looked unstoppable. Multiple guys had multiple spots. Multiple guys looked good. Kruger looked strong. You know what I mean? Like there was a bunch of guys that looked really good going forward. But Fatu, to me, Fatu never had that dominant Fatu thing. Like Fatu took a beating. You know what I mean? Like Fatu, did he come out on top? And thank God he did. But I mean, the way I see it is Fatu has to earn that back because he's kind of been like a no man land. You know, like he lost the belt. You kind of just seen him in a weird spot with just Kruger. Now you have SST. SST has done their thing. He's kind of the big homie that's there, you know, showing his guys off. Him feuding with Enzo does nothing because Enzo got nothing for him to gain. You know, it helps Enzo, doesn't do shit for Fatu. So, you know, Fatu winning this and being able to say, you know what, I'm going to be able to call out whoever I want. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, whoever the champion will be, hopefully next year. So, you know, and they said you could call the title anytime. So we'll definitely get to see a rematch between Fatu and Hammerstone next year, sometime next year. So because the first match was amazing. So the second time around is definitely going to be good.
I mean, that's the thing too. There's a few things I got to see, and I'm curious because I look at the spoilers. We never talk them. Like we'll talk in our own private chats or whatever, but we won't sit there and post nothing
every day.
The one thing that I haven't seen was the Caribbean Championship belt, and Octagon Jr. had won it, and I kind of haven't seen nothing about it. So I'm kind of like, well, you know, it's a new belt. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, and supposedly, you know, they kind of strengthened the partnership between them and down in AEW in Puerto Rico. So so I mean, they definitely have a strong partnership. Surprised, like you said, Octagon Jr. wasn't there, and I haven't seen his name in none of the last tapings they did in the last 2 months. So maybe Puerto Ricans hate flying during the wintertime to New York and Philly. So because I know I hate it, boy. I hate driving.
I don't blame
I hate driving to, out of Rochester, man. It's too damn cold. And then you get a whole different city, different cold. Like, oh, hell no, it's cold here.
But you know what, though?
One time I went to Toronto and on January. Boy, that cold was different. That cold weather in Toronto hits you differently, bro. That day it wasn't even snow. It was just cold, and you could write your name on the cold. That's how cold it was.
This is what, like an Impact show you went to a while ago?
Yeah, this is like years ago. I want to say like 2016, 2017 for like a wrestling or a concert or something, man. And the cold hit differently because you got to pass to Niagara Falls.
Oh,
so you know,
you're
once
out
you
of
pass
control.
that big lake is like a whole thing is different out there, man. The cold is different.
Homie, your car is crying to stop. Your car is like it's cold outside.
The car, like, get me back to my garage, man. Hurry up.
You know what?
Get me back to my heated garage.
So we see, and I'll end it with this because Fatu super kicks Killer Cross out when he's going to do a move to Enzo. Enzo and him come out. Enzo thinks he got it. Fatu throws his little monkey ass out, and he's like, you know, fuck it. SST comes out. I mean, yes, SST comes out.
Yeah, those are two guys.
They're like, yo, you know, we party, drink up, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Now, what was your take? Because Jacob Fatu comes out on top. The homies come out.
I was surprised too. I was surprised. I was surprised at that because he threw him out and the ref is knocked out. And the other two refs are looking away. Something, oh, hell no, they're telling me this dude's going to win this way.
Yeah.
And Fatu was through his foot, you know, gets back in there again, throws this dude out. Referee gets up. So I actually like the finish. I actually like the finish on that one. I was like, oh, okay. They got me on that one for a second. But yeah, I actually like the thing. I mean, I love the whole Battle Riot it definitely did its job. Unfortunately, like I said, a couple of people here and there that shouldn't be there. Too many Azteca guys. You could have used some guys from House of Glory down the block or something like that. Bring him in, get some experience in the ring. Make this more better. Last year was way better than this year's, but it still did its job. It's a nice show to come back in. Now
Yeah.
it has to deliver now going forward week to week. Going, how was the rest of the episodes or the rest of the matches from that taping there? So
Yeah, and I'm curious. I want to see more Bomaye Fight Club. They were,
yeah,
showing heavy towards the end, and obviously this is a quick sample of
boom my yeah,
guys.
boom my yeah, boom my yeah,
Yeah,
boom
those are my,
yeah,
and
boom
we
my yeah.
listen. We bang out with Alex Kane. That's the big homie. Um,
Yeah.
I think we hit
Well, I
everything.
would like to see. Well, I would like to see who is David Richards going to bring in to help him against Bomaye, because right now it's 3-1. You know, and it's three. Mr. Thomas is one big dude, and
Yeah,
Kane. So he'll need some
see, that's
help.
that's the
To go
thing.
against those guys. So yeah.
Like, and there's not a shot at Davey, like not at all. Davey's, he's a great wrestler, but Alex
Oh
Kane is
shit.
bigger than him. Mr. Thomas is a freak dude, and then you have Myron Reed, he's the closest to Davey Richards size. So like
Yeah.
everybody in Bomaye Fight Club is bigger than him. So you need work, and we keep saying you got to be able to somehow bring Eddie Edwards into this.
Which I keep saying, hopefully they do. But I think it's either this week or next week is N.W.A show, Hard Times 3, and we know that David Richards is going to be on the pay-per-view defending the MLW open weight title
For the
against
third time. Oh no, it's like the fourth
Torino.
time.
Yeah, the third time. Yeah, second time in N.W.A for the title. So
Yeah.
he's basically defending the title more on other shows than on his own company, which is just it's crazy to say something like that. That this
It's
guy is
big
defending the
facts.
title more in NWA than he's actually in MLW. So, but at least we get to see the belt. We get to see him defend the belt, and hopefully going forward, because of this, we might get to see some NWA guys come over to MLW, which I would love to see that if it happens.
Now, I'll let you take us out of here with this one. You can unhit record when you're done. Now, what if, and I got to say the name because it's my big homie. What if he comes back and he's like, you know what? Y'all got Mr. Thomas. I'm going to bring Thomas Latimer with me.
Guys, hey, why not? Brown, shit. Brown's a big dude. I mean, he'll definitely. I mean, I don't see the connection between them. Eddie Edwards will be more sense. Would be Eddie Edwards
Yeah.
as his partner than anything else. But why not? Why not? Hey, bring some NWA guys to be on your side. Don't sound
Oh,
hurt.
yeah. I could see him bring a few guys from NWA. It would make sense. And then
Yeah.
it makes the partnership look even better.
Shit, you bring that big dude Ogden from the end, because right now I think Pharaoh, I think he's hurt. So I know Ogden has been wrestling by himself, singles matches now for the last couple
That's
of
a
months.
that's
So
a
and
big
he's
dude.
going up against Nick Aldis. He has a feud against Aldis. So, dude, I wouldn't mind having that dude on my side going to a feud with Mr. Thomas and Kane. I mean, because the dude loves playing, and he's another super machine guy too. So,
There's
hey,
there's a lot of what ifs can happen. If
reinforce
we
the
hear,
ring and let them all do suplexes at each other. Hey,
oh,
with a suplex match. It's a suplex match. Hey, I
so
will pay for that. I would love to see that.
so my brother, I think we hit everything. We talked a little bit of everything. We even got some
Hey,
NWA up in
on
there.
this episode we did, because it was just Battle Riot, and we're excited and happy that MLW is back with a brand new app where we can see live pro wrestling TV. And like I said, it's not just that wrestling; it's a bunch of other wrestlings in here. Once the MLW stopped, and new ones just popped up from somewhere else. So I mean, if
Yep.
you're not have nothing better to do and you want to just binge wrestling, go ahead, hit the app. If you have the Samsung TV, it will be one of the Samsung channels already programming there. And if you have one of those big ass TVs like I do, boy, you be just laying in bed, hold the TV to your side, and you're good to go till you fall asleep.
You know what?
You'll be waking up. You'll be waking up to some suplexes. Like, oh, what happened? I got suplex to sleep.
And listen, before we get out of here, what's the score of the game?
2-1 Astros, bottom 5.
All right. So we got 4 innings to find out. And we'll be doing like shows next Monday, so we'll know how many games you're up by that time or down by. But I think they're going to win the next 2, so we'll be all good, ladies and gentlemen.
By Sunday, if they win tonight, then Saturday will be Game 6, so it'll definitely be over by Monday. So
there
you're
you
gonna
go.
see me excited, happy. You're gonna see me here crying.
We're going to see him already saying that he's ordering another Astros T-shirt. I'm calling it now that Astros win the rest out. I'm calling it now. The Astros aren't losing another game. He'll be celebrating in a few days. You'll get it on here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Deuces.